Okay, I'm recording for Andras Toth. Hopefully he will take a look at this video and tell me some stuff about my game. Jump to the 15-7. Okay, over e4. Um, Sicilian will go for open. It's mainline stuff. Um, okay, so I know this move is bad because I have bishop b5 check. And depending on what they play, I have, yeah, so I can just take here. And then I think knight to f5 is pretty good. Also, possibly knight d to b5. Yeah, okay, so queen takes. I think that a good choice would be to f5, because then I'm putting a lot of pressure over here. And I should be able to castle shortly thereafter, continue development. I'm just thinking about knight d to b5 real quick. But I think knight to f5 is... I think it's a better choice. Okay, so knight to f5, g6. Might even play knight f5, g6, and knight h6. Kind of looks weird. Or do I like knight d to b5 better? Maybe I do like that better. Hit the d6 pawn. And then I have bishop g5. Huh. If I go knight f5 and g6, then I just have bishop g5, actually. Yeah, okay, let's go knight f5. And if I play g6, they're just weakening their pawn on f, or their knight on f6. If I don't slow myself too much talking about my thoughts. So, okay, a6. I was just trying to prevent knight d to b5 anyway. Kind of odd. Okay, so I feel like castling should be pretty good here. But also bishop g5 looks interesting because the knight doesn't really have anywhere to go except back if he doesn't want me to thread the devil's pawns. So if he plays something like bishop e7, I can just take with the knight, and I think I'll have a bit of an opening plus there with the bishop. So let's go bishop g5. If he plays something silly like queen to e7, then just knight d5 should be killing. So I kind of expect bishop e7 here. I think that g6 would be a mistake because I'd be picking up a rook if he went for my knight. And after bishop e7, I can take on e7 with my knight. And then I have knight d5 coming. So it should be... Okay, so they're just going to... Okay, so knight e4, queen f5. Okay, knight e4, queen f5. Huh. Would just be better to do g7 check, followed by knight e4. Kind of develops his bishop a little bit. Hmm. Yeah, I think I like that plan. Just seeing if there's anything else wrong with it. But his tactic is based on trying to win a pawn here. So if I just remove this, I get the pawn back. His structure is ruined a little bit. This bishop is not going to be good on this diagonal because of the pawn. And my knight is here and centralized. And I'm threatening to take on d6, so maybe he has to play e5 afterwards. And after e5, maybe knight c5 is a good idea. And he doesn't have a check. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, I think I like this. Let's go for it. Okay, and we recapture. So I think I'm just winning the pawn. I'm almost winning the pawn on d6. So I think they might have to push d5. And if they push d5, I have knight f6, bishop takes f6, and then bishop takes f6 with a double attack on the rook and the pawn on e5. So he can, or they can pin me with queen e7 maybe. Yeah, okay. Just want to double check to make sure I'm doing okay here. Knight f6 still seems decent, but so does knight c5. Knight c5, queen c6. Not sure. Okay. If knight f6, bishop f6, bishop f6, maybe the rook moves to g8. Hmm. My G2 pawn's a little bit under attack, but I can queenside castle, and I'm much safer than he is. Or she. Um, Knight f6, bishop f6, bishop f6, rook g8. My phone calling me. I'm using my phone for my webcam. Knight f6, bishop f6, bishop f6, rook g8, bishop e5, queen e7. Queen e2. If f6 at that point, I can just move my knight, actually, because the queen will be pinned to the king, too. Okay, so, and if the queen's being pinned to the king, I can pick up on c7 afterwards or something. But I think I can get away with that. I still win a pawn. Rook g8, I'm not bothered about. If they go for the g2 pawn, I'm going to queenside castle anyway. So this should be okay. Okay. Hmm. Or should I defend the pawn? If rook g2, he's kind of discoordinated. Decoordinated? Uncoordinated? I don't know why I thought I had a knight move after that because I just traded my knight. So I just noticed that. Okay, and then if g3, queen e6. The other advantage is that if I go for queen e5 and they go for rook g2, I have bishop g3, and the rook is trapped. So I think they have to like try to pin my bishop to win it. Okay, yeah, and if they try to pin it, I can just retreat it. If we trade queens because of the pin, that's okay. I think I'm still up a pawn. Or if I'm not up a pawn, I'm up positionally. So if rook goes here, I'm just going to trap it. Okay, and if queen goes there, queen e2 is good. Hmm. Okay. Yeah, I think just bishop g3 and trade queens, and that's okay. Something like a knight d4, then king, maybe in king d3. His d pawn is pretty weak. It's nice and isolated. He doesn't have any pieces, so it's just going to be a long-term weakness. Okay, well, that's one way to do it. It doesn't have that long-term weakness, but I think I can just castle. I think either way, I just castle. So if, because the knight's going to be hanging, and if the knight goes like here with check, I'm going to just go here. And if takes, open this up. I have an open H file. Yeah, this looks good for me. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think just this way should be fine. So now this pawn is a problem. This pawn is weak. Maybe I can target this pawn later. His rooks are still disconnected. If he castles, he immediately drops a pawn. So I feel pretty good about this. Yeah, just I think he has to. He's going to be caught up defending that. If rook e1, maybe king e7. King e7 is probably the best move. After king e7, I have rook h6. Just continuing to harass that pawn a little bit. Yeah, okay. And if he pushes, I just take it. And if he tries to defend it, I just pick this one up. So I think this pawn is dropping. I mean, I don't think he has any open files or semi-open files to work with. Like he does have this, but that's covered. So hopefully I can just mop up. I think what I'd like to do, if possible, is trade all the rooks off and just use my pawns. But I think I need to create or capitalize on a couple more weaknesses before I can do that. I feel pretty confident about winning this one. I feel like they have to play actively or they're just not going to get out of the problems of their position. So they have to find a way to generate some threats. The problem is I have a lot of threats. Yeah, okay. So this is just dropping the pawn. They are threatening f2. And if they take f2, they can also go for g3. But I think I can just take the pawn, and if necessary, I can just swing back. I'm not sure that's necessary, but I should just be able to swing back and pick it up again. And the nice thing is I can at least start forcing some trades of those rooks. So maybe this isn't even a problem. Yeah, so we can go here. Just pick up that other pawn, or I can just block the rook. That seems like the most solid choice. Yeah, block the rook. I'm up 2 pawns. Get my king to the center, maybe. Hmm. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna block the rook. It's safe. I already have an advantage. I feel like rook f2 invites some complications because eventually they're just gonna win. They'll win another pawn. They'll win 2 pawns back. So it isn't worth winning the d5 pawn if they get 2 of my other pawns. Because that's just one step closer to them having an outside passed pawn. So I'll block first. Okay. So a little tactic here. I could play rook captures h7, and after rook captures h7, I have rook captures f8, and I think that allows me to keep the initiative. Um, yeah, it's like a cross pin. So I go here, he can't take there, so there, and then I just pick this one up and I win another pawn. I'm going to pre-move this. Okay. I'm trying to think if I can trap this rook. If they go for g2, I don't think I can, but it'd be interesting if I could. I don't think I can, though. However, this rook is rock solid here, and I think with these pawns I can start causing some problem while his rook is distracted here. So I don't care if I lose g2. Let's see, he goes down here, here. If he goes after these, I think I just can start marching, just to make sure that I'm okay with that. Yeah, I think I should be able to win this pawn. Yeah, we're good. Let's go. So if he tries to defend it, I go up here, and he can't kick my king away, so he has to make a different move. But then I just have rook check, and then I can pick this up. If he, yeah, okay, we're good. We're just gonna win this. I'm just gonna win the rook. I think they missed the rook, so that was a quick end. All right. Well, that concludes the game. Good game, Maggio 57. Well, I just hope this video is helpful to me, but also to other people who might be watching it. So thanks for taking a look at it in advance, and I'll see you guys later.